So welcome to the call. I'm going to just set up a couple things with you guys. Yes, Daisy's asking me a question. It should be good. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Just let me know when you're on. Okay. So clear a couple things out. I put some slides together from all the information that's been gathered from the elite call this week and from the corporate call on Friday. I did it clear up until about 8:15 so that you guys can have this. I'll give it to you. And right before I came on, I said to you guys that Lisa and I took YouTube tonight and we put it on our television and we watched Darren's one-on-one interview before they rang the bell on NASDAQ. Guys, it's literally, I had a friend of mine that's one of my accountability partners, and I don't know if now that Daize's on because I'm getting ready to turn it over to her, but I just wanted you guys to hear this from my heart, okay? Guys, a lot of people are out there praying for solutions right now, and you have the answer. You have the answer from a financial standpoint. You have the answer from a physical standpoint. I'm going to mute everybody, and then I'll finish. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I just want to make sure I mute everybody. I'll unmute Daize in a second. But here's what Lisa and I watched it. I think it's about 6 minutes long, and Darren's being interviewed before the ringing of the bell. And as a science geek myself and as a nutritionist and a health coach, I've never been more excited about LifeVantage. And I think once you see the person that's going to be on today, she's motivated me a long time because she's done things when it's not been easy to do things. Like when you're fighting for your life and your city where you live is being ravaged by storms and you have no electricity, and you just persevere and you move forward and you don't worry about what other people think. I would say my big thing that God shared with me this year was to eliminate the fear of man, okay? And a lot of you have struggled with that for so long. You're concerned about what other people say. You're concerned about, a customer, dropping off. Guys, if you look at this interview with Darren and you match up what they talk about and what our stock has done and what our company's done, if you look back to the same things that Apple and Google and Amazon went through in 1999, all you got to do is do your research. They went through the same exact phase that we went. It just took them 30 years to hit momentum. Apple hit momentum at 34 years. We're not going to do that, guys. And after you're done watching Darren's interview, I just posted on Facebook. I'm going to post it in our groups. But I think you guys will see the opportunity that you have that's, number one, has never been available to nutrition and health, people's health, but it's never been available in network marketing. I think it's why we're doing the things that we're doing. I think that we're setting the stage for the future of not only network marketing, but for how people will eventually take care of their health. And I hope that you guys are as excited about that as I am, because I believe it's huge. And so I know Daize's on here and her time might be limited, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up my slides because I want you guys to be able to see what I see over here. And then I'm going to introduce Daize and I'm going to let her take this away. So give me just 1 second to pull this up for you guys, and then I'm going to introduce our speaker. So hold on 1 second. All right, let me pull this up for you guys. Can you guys see my screen okay? Daniel, you guys that are on, can you see my screen okay?
Good to go.
All right, thanks, Chris. Okay, guys, I'm super excited to introduce Daize to you guys tonight. I met Daize a long time ago when she first got involved in the business. And you guys know me, I'm just real. I was attracted to her from her faith in God and her faith in family, and how she just passionately loved her husband and how she was in love with this business and LifeVantage. And I think once you hear her story tonight and what she's done, as you can see, she lives in Hawaii. She's an elite Pro 8 She's actually 5 hours earlier, and I messed up this morning, and I hope I didn't wake her up when I texted her because I was on my way to church. But I thought about it, and I was like, oh crap, I hope she doesn't check that. But she was a winner of the My Life Venture program. She drives around the island in her Jeep, which is pretty freaking awesome. And she just became a new member of the Life Vantage Field Advisory Board, which I'm awesome because our upline, the Cunninghams, and one of my best friends in this business, Jason Kokinzi, are on that advisory board with her. And so without saying much more, I am just going to actually unmute her. She's unmuted. And I'm going to say, have at it, my friend. Take care. Take care.
Thanks so much. And that was such a nice little slide you had of me and my family. You're really prepared. Good job. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys. And I feel honored to let me grace you guys for a few minutes. I have to give you a little disclosure. My 11-year-old is watching my 2-year-old. So this may get cut short at any moment because here at my house, we call it no fear daycare. There's rusty machetes lying around. My husband's kind of the modern day Tarzan. So I'm keeping a side eye, no rusty machetes. I made sure of those. But I just want to share a little bit with you guys today because you nailed it on the head, is that this is the opportunity, that we can't make excuses. All the things you said just was perfect because it led me right into what I want to talk about. And really that is what it takes. Because a lot of people, what happens, and I see it all the time, whether it's my team or other people that want my opinion on how they're building their business, they all lack one thing, and that is the belief in the consistency. And I'm talking what you said, consistency when there's a flood and we can't get out of our little town. That's what we had that for a very long time. Consistency when your friends tell you you're crazy. Consistency when your mom and dad say, I can't believe you're going to do another one of these things. Or, there's a million things coming at us all the time, especially as new network marketers. I don't know about you, but it was my first rodeo. Yeah, Michael too. So for me, a little bit about my story, just so you guys don't see me as some bobbling head, I was a retired athlete, did a great run with that. We moved here to Kauai, bought a house back in, I think it was 2008. Remember 2008, you know what I'm leading up to. We thought, hey, we're going to have this amazing life over here on Kauai and raise a baby. Our son was in my belly, our firstborn. And basically we moved in. 3 months later, got our income cut in half and realized, okay, we have a little bit of savings. What do? We didn't know this crash was happening. We didn't know what was coming. I'm sure a lot of you dealt with the same thing. And it's the same thing. You think you have it all together, but you don't. And we did what anyone else would do. We decided, let's start a small business. Let's have something that we can serve our community, where we can make a little money and have fun. But that's not the case. If you own a small business, you know that is not the case. We got paid last. Our feet were nailed to the floor. After insurance and paychecks and everything had gone out, we got money, and it was very little every time. My health started to take a toll. Anxiety, I love that I can talk to you guys about God, because my team, we're all, everyone has a different thing going on. Answer when this came to me. We basically did what we could and had to close the doors, and unfortunately led us right into survival mode. Can you hear my voice cracking? It literally brings up all kinds of stuff because it was the hardest time. Survival mode for me is just up there with losing your health. It's the same thing, because money doesn't rule you until you have none. And that was me and my family, and it was ruling us. The mountain of debt, all of that. It was creating a gigantic elephant in the room where I couldn't be present with my kids. I couldn't sleep at night. My husband and I fought constantly, things over getting coffee in the morning. We shared a car. We lived with my in-laws. We rented our house to vacationers. I mean, it was a really rough time. Did whatever we could to make ends meet. My husband would work the odd construction job. I was waitressing. I was cleaning houses. I was doing whatever I could, and it was still never enough. And I know that there's some of you on the call that feel the same way. And if it's not you, it's someone that you know. It's your neighbor that's about to be evicted. It's your friend that you went to high school with that you haven't talked to in a really long time, but the same thing is happening to them. So I want you to just grasp that right there, is that I was begging and praying for something to change. So when you don't want to follow up with your people, or when you don't want to reach out to someone because you don't know how to start the conversation, don't let anything hold you back. because I'm telling you, people are hurting. People are begging for some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. And that was my why. You know, when the funny thing is when this was brought to me, I wanted nothing to do with it. I told my friend, are you crazy? I cannot afford another product. We can't afford anything. Don't you dare tell me about network marketing, because I'm never going to be a network marketer. I mean, I was like one of those, you know, and luckily he just said, you need to watch this video. And he gave me some product, and, you know, I didn't even take it because I was so skeptical. Gave it to my husband and my father-in-law, and they both came back saying, you got to try this stuff. And that had started my relationship with our flagship product, Protandem. And that was what got me going. So I want to say something today is, don't discredit your customers, because I was a product lover. When I signed into this business, and then I started realizing, like, wow, this could be a business. I could actually help people get out of, you know, the situation that I am in. I could pull people out of the mud. And so I really quickly realized that I'm not someone that's going to push the business on people. I'm just not. But then every elite was telling me I had to. And I don't know, you know, we still do. As an elite, I still say, you got to tell them about the business, tell them about the business. But I just am here to say, to not discredit your customers. My customers have become my biggest distributors. The ones that I signed up that knew right away that it was a thing, they fizzled out really quick. It was like a big fire that fizzled out quick. And you may have gotten lucky. You may have a few that have blown your mind, right? They come in and they want to do the business and they're just destroying the business, but that's very seldom. What I have found is you have to become a believer of our product and love what we have in order to run with it. And I'm telling you, I have 4 strong legs. All of the top distributors were customers first. And that's what happened with me. So then what happened is that, you know, I start signing up customers and I start realizing, like, wow, this is a business that actually works. And I started to learn about the comp plan, and I started to realize this is my way out. This is my prayer answered. And I'm really, really hopeful that you can hear that, because I was someone that was skeptical. I was someone that thought I would never do network marketing. I was someone that thought this sounded too good to be true. I told my friend he was crazy. I told my friend to never call me again. I mean, I was that person. And look, now I'm an elite Pro 8, you know, like, it blows my mind. It's the 15th in like what, 4 or 5 days or something. The 15th, 3 days. The 15th is like Christmas every single month. And some of you, I was just reading my journal I found on the bookshelf, and it was so fun. I love going back and reading what I was going through. And I was a Pro 3. So this is talking to you Pro 3s right now. And I was literally crying to my pages. This doesn't work. I can't believe I got into this. I don't want to keep going. My husband says I'm a failure. He's not seeing me have any return on this. And you know, when husbands don't say that you're a failure, but by their looks, you know, they're thinking you're a failure. My friends are right. I mean, I wish I had it here. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, because I didn't quit. I kept going, even though people told me I was a failure, even though I thought I was a failure. And that, if there's nothing else you hear today, it's that you got to keep going. We're on the brink of something crazy. Even if it took us 5 to 10 years to hit momentum and your check grew a little bit every month, maybe you're making, you know, $300 a month right now, or maybe less. Maybe you're making a little more. Well, every year, if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep doing this business, it is going to start to pay you back. You are looking for a few people amongst a sea of a bunch of people that don't understand or realize what we have. And that is something that I grabbed a hold of. Now, a couple things that may help you if you're feeling like that, if you're in this rut and you're feeling like I can't do this and you know, you just want to give up. January, February, March, April, those are great months in network marketing. Those are the biggest, January through May. January with my team is still a little slow and rocky, but they're setting up the momentum for the next 3 months, which are so powerful. And they're reaching out and stuff like that. So this may not be you, but you may want to watch this, you know, come July when people aren't ordering as much and you're getting more no's than you thought. Save this recording, because these little tiny steps that I took totally set me on course. And I would, of course, you know, go a little bit off this way, but it brings me right back every time. And still to this day, now it's a different situation for me. Now I have a toddler. I got an 11-year-old and how old is my daughter? 8 years old. Toddlers. You guys know how busy you are with a toddler? Because I forgot. And it is no joke. It is like people, and you know, and my phone is blowing up all day. People want me to help them, and I love this business because I can help. So I'm like, so my whole thing, I go back to these exact same things, and I'm going to share with you in a second. But my thing now is to really be able to separate and to work smarter, not harder. So there's a lot of you, that's the first thing to write down. Work smarter, not harder. Meaning, if you're going to go and do some social media time, 20 minutes a day, and you're going to get on your social media, stay true to what you're doing. Post it in your story, build curiosity, things like that. I've been getting really good at that. It took some practice because I've never been good at getting people involved with social media. But stay focused to that. Really, really stay focused to that. Another thing that I'm so excited that I get to share with some of you, and if you're not, if the Lord is not your main man, then, find a different way to do this, but you can still do this. Pray to find the right people. Pray to find the people that are begging on their knees to have a change in their life. And they'll come. You'll watch them. All of a sudden, they'll come. It may not happen on your timing, but it'll happen on God's timing. And that is what we all want to be on. Another thing that I did that changed my life, and I still have it, is write your why where you can see it. Don't write your why in a little book, and just think that you're going to see it. When I started, I wrote my why everywhere. I had it on my dashboard. I had it on my mirror where I flipped down to look at myself to put my mascara on. I had it right there. I had it on the refrigerator. I had it on the wall. I had it everywhere because that why is going to get you to where you want to go. It's your bridge. It's where you're going to build your belief. It's where you're going to get trained when you don't want to. It's when you're going to make that call when you don't want to, if you can see your why. Now my why has changed. In the beginning it was financial freedom. Basically, I just wanted to have time with my family where I could be happy. Now that's changed to helping others with financial freedom. And it may not be your why, but I have a yearning desire that literally burns inside of me to find people that were where I was, stuck in the mud, and have me help them pull them out. And it's not just me. It's this company. It's this train that we're going on. So those two things helped me major. Work smarter, not harder. Post your why everywhere. And then the other one is build your character. And don't write that down. Write down, stay consistent. If you think of a train going at, 50 miles an hour, when they stop to pick passengers up, think of all that work it takes to get those tracks moving again. It's the same with us. If you take some time off, unfortunately, you are going to have a lot more to get you started. And that is why procrastination is your enemy. Excuses are your enemy. All of that. When you feel like you don't want to do something, maybe you have very limited time. For me, I share this a lot. I had nap time when my daughter was little. And now it's funny, 7 years later, I literally have nap time in a small little window when the grandparents can watch Shine, my youngest. But during that time, I was really smart. And as much as I would rather, do yoga or listen to music or whatever, I was focused on doing the behavior that was going to get me results. Some days I didn't want to do that. Some days I'd look at my desk and even though I cleaned it, I would make an excuse, oh, my desk needs to be cleaned. Or I would think of some excuse because I didn't want to pick up that phone. So be gracious to yourself those days. And instead of picking up the phone, maybe those are the days that you listen to a training. There are so many on YouTube that you can listen to, on the app. But every single day, I would listen to at least 5 minutes of an elite sharing their vision or sharing why they're doing this. And that was what got me going on those days. And there was many of them in the beginning. I just shared my journal entry. There was many of them. And that's what helped me going. That's what helped me to see the bigger picture, to realize that I was sitting on something great. And now, it's crazy. Is it really the 15th in 3 days? That is just makes me so happy because, as you can imagine, a Pro 8 check never makes you frown. It's like, here it comes again. But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of determination, consistency, saying yes when I wanted to say no, forcing myself. It took sacrifice, you guys. From from Pro 3 to Pro 6, that was probably my biggest sacrifice moment. And that was because my kids were wanting me more and more, holding onto my leg before I'd have to leave to do a meeting. now it's great because we have Zoom. I barely leave. I do all of my meetings on Zoom, all of my trainings. I don't have to travel. But with my daughter, when she was young, it was rough. I would call my upline crying and going to the airport at 5 a.m., to go for the day to another island to work because my daughter was bawl crying, did not want me to leave. And I just begging them to tell me this is going to work, right? This is going to pay me, right? Because I'm not making any money and I'm doing the action, but I'm not getting the results. And that's what I kept hearing from everybody that I reach out to. Focus on the action, not the results. Focus on the actions, not the results. And you guys, I promise it'll pay off. But if you want to just sit on, I have people on my team that I tell, hey, show me your calendar. They're crying, this isn't working. I say, show me your calendar. There's like 1 or 2 meetings. It's not going to work. 1 or 2 meetings a month is not going to work unless you hit the lot. That's like asking to hit the lottery. You're going to have to reach out to people. When I'm in my groove, I'm reaching out to at least 1 person a day and following up with 1 person a day. And that's simple. That's not a lot. But guess how many people that's reaching out to a month? 31 people. And I'm doing 31 follow-ups. And that's easy. You can do that on the drive to car. So the drive to work. When people tell me that they don't have time for this, I literally give them my story. Well, I had a 5-minute commute, and on my 5-minute commute every day for 2 years, I called 1 person a day to tell them about this, and I followed up 1 time. And that was easy. And you get better and better. It's like riding a bike. You get better and better and better the more you do it, which is so awesome. So I feel like I gave you some nuggets. I'm actually getting text messages from my son saying, when are you done? When are you done? Because my baby he's one of those. He's one of those, like, you cannot leave him alone for 1 second.
Well, I know you have to run, but I just wanted to tell you that I just want to recap real quick before you run and say, guys, think about this. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is a card that my wife made, okay? And it's in her car, it's in her purse, it's in her bathroom, and she made multiple copies, laminated and printed up. And this is her why. And then her why is attached to her what. And you can see Pro 8 down here, and you can see the Hawaii trip that's coming up. And I
love it.
And her 2 nieces, and now her friends. Her Lisa's best friend just came into this business after 8 years because Lisa never gave up on her, right? And so, and then like Daisy said, work harder, not smarter, was number 1. And if you think about that, guys, I love what she said because I say this all the time and people don't listen to me. On social media, you create curiosity. We're not salespeople. James Hyden taught me this from day 1. Like, he would X stuff out on my hat that he thought might be distracting if we were in a picture together, right? Because you don't need to tell people. Like, even if people look at biohacking, there's nothing to do with LifeVantage on here, right? Like, and then they ask you questions. And I like what she said. Think about what she said this. She said, have your why visual. And she said her why was serving others. You guys remember the John Maxwell book on network marketing that we did? He said that significance is when you serve others. You just heard from a servant leader that her goal, she's taking on the persona of her Savior, who was the greatest servant ever. And then she said, final thing, she said, stay consistent. And normally I'd let you guys ask her questions, but she has to run. So I just want to say the last thing that she said was, excuses are your enemy.
Literally.
Think about that, guys. And then she said, basically, in a nutshell, divorce the outcome and marry the process. Divorce the outcome of what you see. Guys, it's no different than faith. Faith is believing what you know you have and going through and taking action, because faith without works is dead. And then just moving forward into what you know you can't see. Like Daisy said, at Pro 3, she didn't see Pro 8. When I remember pictures of her and her husband hiding like under trees and stuff when the storm was coming through and they didn't have electricity. I'm like, I wonder how Daisy's going to survive. That's what I used to say. And then I see her consistently staying in control of her business. And she's doing 30 presentations. All we ask you to do is 15, right? So Daisy, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. I'm already has been blowing up. The message has been blown up. But if you want to leave us with something, go
I
ahead.
want to actually invite you too. We have so our Zoom is tomorrow. We do our team, Monday team Global Aloha Zoom. And we're having Brian Dixon is going to share 30 minutes on the science behind the Tri-Synergizer and what to say. It's going to be a quick call, but if you want me to, I'll send you that. And you guys are totally welcome to come on. We would love to have
I'd appreciate that.
An awesome Zoom. And I'm just grateful, you guys. It's great to be here. And I'll tell you, this is too big to not be consistently working towards. And you guys got this. It's not like oh, I hope it works out. Like there's a paper trail of people that it just keeps working out for if they stay consistent with sharing the information, following up, and getting people trained, So we're just lucky we have products that over deliver,
Exactly. Well, thank you
so much.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you. Thank your husband for me.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to leave, but I'm going to figure it out. Here we go.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So guys, I'm going to jump right into the next section of what I want to talk about so that you guys can have this information, because you guys obviously know that the free shipping is here. Okay. The free shipping is here, guys. And this is huge. Here is what has to go on in the different countries for free shipping. Orders over, you can see all orders above certain amounts. In the United States, it's any active subscription, whether that's a $25 bottle of Pro Tandem or whatever, a bottle of probiotics, a bottle of NRF2. It's all, as long as it's a subscription, it's free shipping. If it's over $100 and it's just a spot order, that's it. And so I'm going to post all these. I'll give you guys all these slides that we have tonight so that you can have them. And then I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Tri-Synergizer are coming out in packets. I'm so excited about that. It's in the works to have an ultimate stack packet, which is going to be phenomenal once they get that put together. And guys, I'll just tell you this. I'm so glad that she's having Brian on there, because in the works, and I think it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in the first 3 months of the year or the first year, but we're going to get a patent on the 3 Pro Tandems together. And that's never happened in history. So we continue to make history in things that we're doing, okay? So you guys can see it's $127.99. They evened out the price of everything. Now it's available starting tomorrow, okay? And so if you do this right here, what it's talking about, okay? These are the new packets for Pro Tandem. You earn 5 points towards, I'm going to go over that at the end, what you can do to get to Road to Convention. You first have to sign up for convention. Guys, if you haven't signed up for convention, please do it today. You have one major event a year. It's going to be the same time every year, okay, in October. This year it just happens to be in Vegas, and it's going to be phenomenal, okay? Earn 5 personal rewards points for convention when you sell Pro Tandem to a new customer, okay? To a new customer. That's awesome, okay? And then here, guys, invest in these samples. Look at the new box. Look at the new packets, how they come into packets. If you buy 2 of these Pro Tandem new Synergizers, they're going to give you 30 free brochures to pass out with your samples. Guys, if you give people 3 days of samples and you teach them how to take it the right way, they're going to feel something. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I always give 3 sticks of Axio with it, and I teach them how to take it. I have so many leads right now that you guys will see their fruit over in the next couple weeks to months. Even in the midst of moving, guys, we have had more stress on us now with moving. Our house just closed. We just got a cash offer on our house. We have to go stay with my parents, and now they have company coming. So we have a lot on our table. But Lisa and I said today that we're going to lead by example. We are going to win one of the larger tiers for the convention thing. Guys, I have friends coming to me now because I never gave up on them. I went back to some people that I shared this with years ago. You can use these samples. I had a guy that who was my accountability partner now, I didn't think was going to give up to sign up. I sent him samples of Axio and the Pro Tandem Synergizer, And now he's going to sign up as a distributor. So guys, this is your business. What you do with it is up to you, but you should be using these samples. The new website is awesome. And if you sign up a new account, okay, on the Pro Tandem Synergizer, you also get a free sour cherry. Axio, the customer does. So guys, start signing up these people, okay? And that goes, if you sign up on Ultimate Sec, they get that also. So that's big. So there's regional tours coming up. There's no dates yet. I do not know the dates. They will have the dates in the next couple weeks. Okay, they will have the dates in the next couple weeks. All right. So thank you, Kathy. So here is the cities that they're going to be in: Biloxi, Mississippi, San Jose, which could be Sacramento. I'm not sure yet, but Jacksonville, Phoenix, Bloomington, Minnesota, Bethesda, Maryland, Austin, Texas, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Denver, Colorado. And then Birmingham, England, New Zealand, Madrid, Spain, BC, Edmonton, and Toronto. Okay? Those are the cities that are going to have regional tours. We'll know the dates in the next couple weeks. It'll just be one event in all these different cities. I know that the Field Advisory Board will be speaking at some of these different ones, and then other people that are going to be nominated by the people in the Field Advisory Board. So I'll have all that information for you coming up in the next probably 2 weeks, I would imagine. So let me talk real quick about this road to convention. And then guys, if you can stay to the end, it's going to be worth it. I've got some really cool things to share with you just at the end. So this road to convention, you obviously have to register for convention. If you go to your website or the main website, it's right on there. Guys, I'm just telling you, if you're serious about this business, you will not miss convention. It's just not, it's the biggest event of the year. You will leave there changed. The stuff that they're going to have there is going to be big. And you can see all this stuff. When you can win your trip, guys, you really can. If they've made it really simple. Okay. So here's how you do it. You sell product. For every 40 to 99 PV, you get 1 point. For every 200 to 99, you get 5. And for every 1,000, you get 10. Okay? Personally enrolled customers. Earn points to increase sales, leading to rank advancement for whatever one is your personal enrolled distributors, ranks, advances in rank. Okay? So if you got one of your distributors and wherever they are in this process right now, starting in January, you just look at where they are. Advanced to Pro 3, you get 25, sponsor gets 15, and it just goes all the way down. Like, I know my goal before then is to get back to 7 and then on to 8, and look how many points you get for that. So that's a massive goal between now and in October, right? Beginning of October. So advancing in rank, you're eligible to earn points each month that you maintain your sales. I don't know if you guys saw, but they're doing real pay now also, which you have to be Pro 3 and above to get real pay. So those of you that are Pro 3 and above, you're going to get real pay. And that's weekly pay. Your weekly checks, when you're signing people up, you're going to get those. You're still going to have your 15th of the month checks, residual checks and that stuff, but when you sign up customers, you're going to get it real. It's going to be awesome. It's really a cool thing. And then you can see it. Maintain Pro 3, you get 50 and 25. And then all the way down. Guys, this is all on the main website. I'm going to give you this so you have it so you can use it with your teams. But this is all I just made these up today. I did screenshots and made them so it looks kind of nice. But I'll put these in our groups. And if you message me and you don't get them, just let me know and I'll sign up. So here's the tiers real quick. Tier 1 is 100 points, 200, and then all the way up to 800, you get $80 credit for the store. This is all stuff that you can use to buy product, to buy, heck, whatever you want while you're there. 1,000 points is always my first thing that I'm going for is tier 10, $250 cash bonus and VIP seating in the front. Okay? Yeah, we already sit in the front. Last couple times I've sat with my team. But these are some goals that are obtainable. It's amazing how many people go for these things and get these bonuses. You can pay for your trip, guys. Most of you look at this and say, oh, that's challenging because I have done this and this is what. If you follow, guys, Daize is a prime example of a 10%er, somebody who just looked at her circumstance. I remember pictures of her, as I said before, you know, water was pouring in their house and she was underneath a covering, freezing, soaking wet as their place had no electricity for weeks upon weeks. So we have no excuse. We just have to follow the system. So many, I cannot want this and to teach people the way to do things. I find myself wanting to tell people things, and I even do with some people, and then I say, why did I do that? Because I don't know if they're going to listen. And I'm guilty of that. So I apologize if I do that, because I'm a lot better than I used to be. But I just see people not, if you want to learn from people, follow people like Daize. Follow people like James Hyden and Jason Kukinzi, who's enrolled 30 and 40 and 50 people from online, right? Follow, Laura Lee's a pro 8 and never done this before and is just crushing it on social media. Jennings and Gloria Waterhouse. Jennings is enrolled. Guys, everybody is enrolled. I've got so many leads right now from social media, from joining groups and just posting and talking and having conversations with people. It's absolutely amazing. So let me share. Let me finish up with just a couple things before you guys go. Okay. I re-listened to Aaron Brockovich's recording from the Kansas City Elite Academy. And sometimes when you go back and listen to things a second time, Stephen, you look like you're frozen. Are you frozen? No, you're not, are you? Oh, no, he's moving. All right. So you look like you were frozen. I was like, dang, he looks like he's frozen. But when you go back and listen to things the second time, get a notebook out. And if you guys remember, Aaron talked about this word stick-to-itiveness, okay? I don't know if you guys remember this in Kansas City when she talked about stick-to-itiveness, okay? It was a word that her mom took her to the dictionary and looked up. And here's some of the thoughts about it. There's several good phrases that go with it: perseverance, determination, dedication, stamina, persistence, never giving up. Guys, those are things that I see in every single one of you, you know? And I don't say that just to encourage you and let you know that. You have to believe that in yourself. A lot of people look at like for me, I do a self-examination of where I'm at on a constant basis. I do a self-examination. Today I went and did some stuff at the track that I never thought I'd be able to do. And I pushed myself to do it, and I was completely amazed. And I've got to the point now where, you know, guys, every single day I'm becoming a different person. Superman's not coming. It's exactly right, Destiny. And guys, here's something else that she said that I want you guys to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. I love what she said. She said, when you're comfortable and complacent, opportunity will pass you by. When you're comfortable and complacent, opportunity will pass you by. Now, you're like, Mike, what are you saying? I'm saying that may be you following up with somebody. That may be you having the ability to share with some of your family members that you haven't shared with. Many of you have family members you have not shared this with. Many of you are around people all the time that you're afraid to share this with. That's complacency. That's what Erin was talking about. She kept going on and talking about, I don't know if you guys remember this, but she was one of the torch bearers in the Olympics. She got to carry the torch and hand it on to somebody. And she said she was nervous. And she said she was almost nervous to the place of complacency. And she almost missed getting in line to grab it. But here's what she said. Once she pushed all that out and grabbed a hold of it, she said it was like a rocket, right? Like she sprinted to the next person to hand it off, right? She said, that's what we're doing with LifeVantage. She said, guys, she said this is what I love about her. She said, I'm the first and only ever female on the board for LifeVantage Corporation. Did you guys ever think about that? She She said people ask her if she's Julia Roberts. Like, do you see the concept of the thinking of how she sees herself being placed? She said, you know what got me? She said, it's exactly what Daize said. She said, Gary Morrow said to me, who's the president of our board, said, I know you're super, health conscious. Would you look at the products and tell me what you think? And she said to him, why didn't you tell me about these a long time ago? I've known you forever, right? That's going to happen to all of us, guys. It's just what happened to me when I thought my friend Tim had too much on his plate to ask him to join this business. When he already told me he was interested, I just perceived that he had too much on his plate and that he didn't want to do it anymore. And he said, hey, I knew what you were thinking. Stop thinking that way. So some of your closest friends, you want them to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Here's been my biggest change, and I want to encourage you guys on this, okay? I want to encourage you guys on this, okay? You guys have been hearing me say it. Some of you started with one and then you never finished with yours. You need to have an accountability partner that you meet with every single week. Like, I'm just saying this. Yes, Tim and Donna became two of my best friends, but they weren't that. I went and built relationships. It should all be about relationships. And these guys have held me accountable mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. They've made me a better husband. They've made me a better friend. They've made me focus on the things that I can't control, right? And so I just want to be super encouraging to you guys tonight to know that every single one of you have everything that you need to be successful in every area of your life, and you've been granted a blessing. And I want to tell you guys, if you have not watched that video that I shared at the beginning that Darren did, that's 5 minutes long, I posted it. I'm going to post it in our group, in our Freedom Fighters group. But it's a 5-minute interview. It's on my Facebook page. I posted it on my personal page today with Darren being interviewed by a lady right at NASDAQ, right there on the main street in downtown New York. And guys, my wife looked at me and she said, why don't we just say to our friends, watch this. If you don't want to be interested, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be. And or hey, maybe we should just post this and say, wow, do you guys see that why we joined this business and why we see this opportunity? And so it's great. Like Lorelei just said, it's great. That interview is actually great info to share. It's great to share with your customers. It's great for follow-up. And I will share this also. Daize just texted me the information for her call tomorrow with Brian Dixon. So I will post that. It's actually, it'll be 8:30 Eastern time tomorrow. So I'll post it for you guys. She's got all the times for all the different, for Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. So I'll post that in our group. I love to do this before we go because we just have a little bit of time left. Let me ask anybody if they have a comment or a question about anything that's been shared tonight, just from a standpoint of maybe making a comment of something that you've accomplished. I always like to do this. Maybe you want to share some roses or some thorns, and that's what we call it. Some things that you've kind of failed on and maybe you dropped the ball on, or maybe something. I just told you one of mine was thinking for my friend, thinking that my friend was too busy to join and not asking him. And he literally was like, dude, why haven't you given me a link to sign up yet? And I was like, okay. and it's the same thing. It's just like starting my podcast. Tomorrow I'm doing my first interview for my podcast. And I'm interviewing my friend Tim. I couldn't think of anybody better to interview than him. So does anybody have a rose or a thorn, want to unmute themselves and make a comment, or maybe something that Daize said that kind of hit home, or just anything that you want to share? Anybody have something they want to share?
Hi, Mike.
Hey,
I got
Stacey.
a thorn.
Go ahead.
chasing people that say, yeah, I'm going to turn around and join up, and you book all the time off and they kind of disappear. And then 2 or 3 days later, they show back up again. And you go, okay, we'll turn around and we'll try this again. And it happened to me 4 times in a row with the same person. Kind of a pain in the whatchamacallit.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. What did you learn from that?
Don't chase rabbits, not 2 at a time anyway.
Exactly. Right. And you know what? And you know what's good about that? This is what I learned. I learned this from James Hyden, actually. He said, Mike, I find a lot of people tie into calls and they watch and they know what you're doing. They know you're successful, but they do that. And part of chasing rabbits is confusion. You know what I did when I sat in the hallway with Tyler several months ago now, and he said, Mike, it's time for you to get back to doing what you did in the beginning and eliminate distractions. And that's what we did. We just got back to what we were doing in the beginning. Lisa and I have eliminated the distractions that we feel was holding us back. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take massive action on the things that we can control. And that's what I would encourage you. So thanks for sharing that, Stacey. Daniel Leakey, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on your samples. That's huge. And I think it's probably one of the most underestimated parts of reaching out to people, especially if you don't know them. Just giving them a sample and saying, here's my contact details. Can I grab yours so I can follow up with you in a few days? 1 or 2 Axios should be enough to give them a good shot, make them feel good. And then once they feel good about that, they're going to start to think, hang on a minute, that Protandem's probably worth trying as well.
Yeah.
So that sampling isn't anything new, but for some reason, it's just completely underestimated. And it's something that we can all jump on, and I guarantee that it will amplify anything that you do.
100%. Thank you for sharing that. And guys, we've been praying for the samples, but here's the thing with them. Because we're publicly traded, you have to do things in order for things, the way things go. I know I've always said this, and I actually said this to Daniel one day when we were having sushi. I said, there's pros and cons to being publicly traded. I think he'll remember me saying this, that there's things that you just want to do, and it would be great to do it. And then you think, and then you remember, oh, we're publicly traded. We can't do that. Just like they've said, we have to be really, really straightforward with the things we say on social media, right? Companies get shut down all the time, and us being publicly traded, now we've rang the bell at NASDAQ. Now people know that we're a forward-thinking company. When you watch that, I always say, how could I be more excited? And then I watched that interview with Darren. So yeah. So anybody else want to make comment?
Hey, I got a comment, Mike.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Stacy, have you ever given that guy like the bottom line? Like, this is the ultimatum. Here it is. Take it, leave it. I'm not coming back. I'm not going to keep begging for you. And then if obviously that doesn't work, then I would go out and find some of his friends and then roll them underneath him. Just kind of show him up a little bit.
Chris, it's funny you say that, because remember, that's what Rob Smolik does.
That's what made me think about it.
Rob said, guys, Rob and Summer have enrolled like 80 some people, right? Just in a short period of time. Because you know what they do? They just say, hey, do you know anybody that would want to do this? And then they just give me 10 people that we're going to share with. Or if he says, hey, you're going to sign up now, let me go share with your first 10 people, right? And then Rob comes back and 2 or 3 people want to sign up. And he says, hey, do you want me to sign them up or do you want to sign them up? And guess what? People find the money really quickly. They find the money to join really quickly. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael. Oh, yeah, Michael, this is Destiny.
Hey, Destiny.
Hey. So I thought I was going to have a bummer week because I was out sick like 3 days. So I couldn't hold my head up, couldn't get anything done. And I ended up, scrolling through social media and everything. And when I could hold my head up, I was just creating content for my pages. But I did something that was advised on a previous call about linking up with different groups of like your different interest areas. So I had done the whole joining every LifeVantage group, but I didn't think about joining. So I joined some ophthalmology groups, and ophthalmic assisting, 'cause that's what I used to do. And, so I was just scrolling through one of those groups and I saw somebody had posted something about anybody have any kind of advice about herbal supplements or natural supplements with the treatment of eye care. So I got brave and I said, private message me. I might have some information you'd be interested in. So I ended up just kind of having a back and forth conversation, just getting to know the person and everything, and I sent them to Biohack and Activate to watch the video. And, they got back and they're really interested. So now I'm going to set up a phone call. But it was so crazy how, I had the time to go and scroll through and I figured out how that works. Like how you meet people that you normally wouldn't meet, through social media outlets. And so now I've got to,
keep it going.
Yeah, and I wanted to hook him up with you guys. I told him about, I said, my friend Michael, he's a nutritionist. He knows a lot about this kind of stuff that you're thinking of. So, we definitely got to get to talk to him. So
I'll put you in contact with Dr. Chad and see if he's open to talking.
Exactly. And the other thing is about the NASDAQ thing. That was one of the days I was homesick. And I literally, I didn't realize, I'm watching it. I did the whole, building it up on social media. But when I watched it, I literally was crying. It was just so great to see something, to realize we're part of something that's so big. This is real. We are really part of a great company. And to hear Darren's speech, it was just wow. That's my company, it was awesome.
That's what I said.
I haven't seen the interview, but I'm going to freak out when I hear the video, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. For those of you, I just posted it in the chat. If you guys want it, you can click it on. It'll come up. It's the video is in the chat. If you're on your camera on your phone, just copy it and put it into a note. I put it in the notes over here, Darren's video. All you gotta do is click it on. That's a YouTube video. You can get it there. Before we go, anybody else have a comment or a question or something that they want to ask real quick? Anybody else? Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much. Tonight has been great. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited when I get to hear somebody's story and hear what they've went through. Go tell your story, guys. Tell your story to people. Do that. Did you guys hear what Destiny said? She didn't vomit all over the person. She said, I built a relationship with it. I'm going to share an article this week of a video that I did with my friend that Cole Hatter's mom did on it's called It's All About the Relationships. And, just because Julia, what are you laughing at? Are you watching the Packers play? You can't say anything to Lisa about the Packers. She hates the Packers. Hey, honey, Julia's rooting for the Packers. Yes, I know. You can hear Lisa in the background. I'm sorry, you guys. But let me just explain something to you. That's what best friends do. They laugh and they joke and they talk about different things. I love Aaron Rodgers, but guys, I hope that you will take your time and map out your schedule. Start taking some action. My schedule this week is freaking jam-packed, and I'm super excited about the people I'm sharing with. I'm going after a new distributor in Ireland. Lisa just bought me a brand new calendar because I had all my calendar on my phone and it was not allowing, good job, Tracy, it wasn't allowing anybody to schedule appointments with me, which really sucked, and I couldn't figure it out, and I figured it out. So, guys, I love you. Having a great week. No excuses. Let's go make a difference in the world. Let's change the world. Like Darren says, we're changing history, guys. Go watch that video if you haven't. God bless you all. I love you guys. Have a great day.